I guarantee anybody that stands in the Indian way anymore, and that goes for all the legislators, Obama, my good friend, Mr. Bullock. Creator's going to deal with you. Going to deal with these people that are killing these buffalo for no reason, killing these wolves for no reason. They're going to be dealt with, not by me, by our Creator.
The needless slaughter of these animals that are so important to us, Native American people, that's when we get, like Jimmy said, we all got to team up and put a stop to this needless slaughter. I mean, it's so cruel and inhumane how they do that. Now, in my college years, I had a history professor that, it was early 70s, he said that Indians, we slaughtered buffalo needlessly. But we used every piece of a buffalo for our livelihood, our clothing, teepees, to eat. But in between 1870 and 1880, in the Midwest, there was something like 10 million buffalo slaughtered for sport. Now that's what you call needless. That's 1 million a year. Nationwide, how many buffalo did all tribes on this continent slaughter? Not that many. They come out of retirement to help Jimmy, so we're getting our guns loaded, and we'll make things happen. See you later. $20.
My proper name is Wahakina, horse catcher. I'm of the Frozen clan. My people are known as Aaninin, white clay people. I'm a white clay man. But the Creator, Gipniat, he has a plan. He has a dandy plan. And for when things are get set right, these are going to leave their reservations and things are going to be the way they're supposed to. And like all of you, I've watched these things unravel. I've even watched a judge declare buffalo a predator. How does a declaration out of a court change millions of years of what's now known as evolution? I find that very amazing, but that's a desperate act of very scared people that don't understand. They know something is in the mix, but they don't know what, and it frightens them. It's not good to live in fear. And I really feel bad for the people that live that way. This is natural. These Itanans, they belong here. The Creator put them here for a purpose. And they're coming back. And believe you me, that's a purpose too. My mate, she's seen that. It really has a lot to do with our children too. These kind of things, our future. And it's a great day to be alive. Creator, give me a hug.
We've lived in this land that we call our homeland for millenniums. This isn't new to us. This isn't something that just happened 150 years ago. This didn't just happen quickly. It was a process that took place. We are still here. We will continue to be here. We will continue to advocate for all of our natural resources, for all people, and for all living things, because that's who we are at heart. And I thank you for that.
I believe it's time that the Native people step up and say, we're capable of governing our own resources that we had for 1,000 years, that you have taken over. That hasn't turned out very well. Let's bring our native people in that has the knowledge of 1,000 years, and allow us to be part of that decision-making factor of what happens to the buffalo in the future. That's going to be my bill that's being introduced here shortly.
Yeah.
I believe that the spirituality, there's a bond between myself, Jim, all of us. It's a spiritual bond. And my world and my view of the world, my life centers around a cosmetic view that I see a spirit and a physical being in all living things. And I recognize both. And as where our children were raised, they were taught to recognize both. That's just where the root of respect comes from. That tree there, in my tribe, we have a holy painted lodge. Ricey Crawford's family has that. On the back of that lodge is a pine tree. That pine tree has spiritual abilities. That's a pine tree. And the way we viewed our world was in a very spiritual aspect. The world, the buffalo, it's in every one of our ceremonies, our songs are related to it, and well-being, and we primarily use him for travel. He has a specific song and several different ceremonies that I attend. Jimmy mentioned that. I don't consider myself a medicine man. I don't have no roots. If you come to me, ask for something, I'll probably give you a cup of iced tea. But I do have the ability to do, which we all have the ability to do, and that there is to address the great Creator at least once a day and ask for guidance. And I share that with you also. So the way I am viewed and the way I perceive the world is just a view that a lot of my ancestors have. But I appreciate you guys being concerned about the well-being in the future of not only the buffalo, but our state and how we respond to this. And hopefully this great animal will become a permanent part of our food chain, our spiritual life in the future. Thank you.
Hello to all my relations. My name is Nikos Pastos, and I'm a person of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai and Pend Oreille tribes, Flathead Lake. My mother is one of the tribal elders, and I have a statement from our press release that I'd like to read part of it. So Carol DeBay, an elder member of the Confederated Salish, Kootenai, and Pend Oreille tribes, said, "The state of Montana must help restore the honor, the balance of nature's trust, and immediately cease and desist in the senseless slaughter of the bison and the wolves."
Yeah.
She said, "I hereby invoke tribal sovereign authority and demand the state of Montana stop violating nature's sacred trust and instead honor the spirit of the Hellgate Treaty of 1855 and the U.S. Constitution. Our people's treaty rights are not being honored by capture and slaughter and artificial limitation of bison range and habitat. No wholesale trucking and slaughter of bison can be substituted for treaty hunting rights, which include a healthy range and habitat for the original pure strain of bison to survive and flourish." Dubé continued, adding, "Bison are not cattle. Limiting or fencing the bison or isolating herds in quarantine to appease the cattle industry is not good management policy. Range for bison should be expanded to include all usual and customary lands and territories that our peoples inhabited and used in a balanced and respectful way since time immemorial. Yellowstone buffalo are America's last wild migratory herds and the most important bison population that exists. They are the last to identify as a wildlife species and ecologically exist throughout their native range. They've been added to the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List for being threatened with near extinction, and even Montana designates the species in the greatest conservation need, with conditions making bison vulnerable to global extinction. To get along doesn't mean that we go along with everything. Okay, my mother sent me here with this message that enough is enough. Okay, This is a moment in time in a progression, but we have to go forward together now. The way that we'll make our prophecies come true and make a real America, America that works, we have to save these buffalo. We have to honor our relationships, and we have to bring the tribal peoples together with all peoples. Now here's my final word. American Indians in America, the indigenous people of North America, my people have been here for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. We have a special historic and political relationship with the United States government, with the states of Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and with the various indigenous nations. Okay, we have a treaty, and it says in Article 6 of the United States Constitution that the federal judges will honor the treaties as the highest law of the land. There's something wrong going on here. It's been going on for a long time. Okay, tribal peoples can lead this part of it, but it cannot be done without peoples from everywhere coming together. And that was the purpose of this rally today, is to show how many tribal peoples care, how many of everyone else cares. We're the majority. So now we have to change the law. Okay, thank you.
I stand before you in a very humble way. Just want to honor right off the bat the other founder of the Buffalo Field Campaign, who is Rosalie Little Thunder, who left this plane on August 9th and is now guiding us from above. But that was the foundation of the Buffalo Field Campaign, was the recognition of the relationship between the First Nations people and this sacred being we call the buffalo. And as I've watched the years progress and more natives get involved in partaking, it's been an honor. It brings a smile to my heart to see that, because that is a severed relationship that is so important for this world. And I watch how this progresses onward, and the heavy-handed action of different natives is taking place, but in that process, the connection is coming back. But the sad reality of all these sacred things and these sacred treaties and everything that has been recognized is that still the white man, the statues, the mentality that governs these buffalo. It's not the natural way. It's not the right way. And with that strength of this power they think they have, they tear us apart. And they make what natural allies that should work and stand together for the buffalo be separated for silly ways. So this means so much to me personally, and I know Rosalie is up there smiling right now, because this is the coming back together of the people. The buffalo's message is for the people to come together so that they can feed us again, they can take care of us again, they can make sure that we all have homes and shelters and ways. This government wants you to live on commodities. They want you to eat food that's not good for you, food that has brought diabetes and epidemic proportion to the reservations that y'all know more than I could ever talk to you about. But for the last 18 years, I've had the honor to stand with these sacred ones, listen to their stories, watch how they act and treat one another. And they really have the lessons to teach us how to live together again. They have leaders in their movements too, but their leaders don't sit in the fancy chairs and sit in these rooms. Their leaders get big paychecks and take care of themselves and the people that get them elected to these offices. But the leaders of the buffalo, they take care of the herd. And their job is to make sure that everyone in that herd is taken care of and is protected. And that is the message of the buffalo. That is what I've learned in my 18 years. But we also come here more than anything to learn the wisdom of the hundreds of generations. Because the 4 or 5 generations of Montana that I get shoved their politics down all our throats our whole life has not shown me they know how to live for the future. They live for today. The buffalo live for tomorrow, for future generations, and for everyone, not just individuals. So I am honored to stand in front of you. I am here with open ears and an open heart to learn from you. And together I'd like to walk with you to save these sacred beings and to bring them back home, up here in these mountains as you spoke about. Because these mountains sure look awful naked without buffalo. So let's all work together to bring back these sacred buffalo. I thank you for your time. I look forward to your wisdom, and I am honored to be here.
I'm here today to join with you. This battle has been long since I've been here since 2009. And from that point forward, when I came here as a senator, the issue of buffalo as being livestock, buffalo being slaughtered, all of these things, these are issues that have been alive and well in these August halls. And one of the things that really concern me is that the parallelism between the outright attack on the buffalo and the people. That there's a parallelism there. And it's egregious, and we have to recognize it for what it is. Because every time when we talk about hunting rights in Yellowstone Park, that's part of a treaty pact that all of these tribes entered into. But one of the things that the Apsalalqui Nation did, we did one hunt. But after that one hunt, we have 1,500 plus buffalo on the Bighorn Mountains. And they roam free. But one of the things that we said that we would do, because that's one of the things that is in our heart, is that we want to reintroduce the buffalo on our native lands. And we have done that from a small herd to now 1,500 plus. But one of the things is that we want to use our treaty right to reintroduce and to invigorate that genetically pure strain that is in Yellowstone Park. Not slaughter them. Not slaughter them for sport. If we're going to slaughter, which we do harvest our buffalo. But that is for food and sustenance. And that's the thing that they don't understand today, is that the previous speaker talked about the diseases that are really impacting our people. And one of the things that they have done is to utilize buffalo meat instead of beef. So that because when you really look at buffalo meat, which is part of our natural diet, it's part of our natural diet. And that one of the things that we've always done as people, as Apsalalqui, as Native people, is that we lived in harmony with all things that are on this earth. We did not take more than we needed. We took what we needed, and we offered prayers, the plants, the animals. We did not kill for sport only and leave the carcasses to rot. The biggest thing that really hurt my heart was last year when they hazed the buffalo within that buffer zone. And what did they do? They killed it and they left it to rot. They did not even harvest it. They just left it there. And I think that is a travesty when we have people that are across the state of Montana, Native people, that want to and not only Native people, but different folks that want to reintroduce the buffalo into their natural habitat, and we are prevented from doing that because we are now calling wild bison or buffalo livestock. That is crazy. That is totally crazy. And so I stand here with all of you. I stand here with my Blackfeet brothers. I stand here with all of the other nations that are represented in this place, and all the non-Indians that are here. We've had different folks to come in and to stand with us, and we standing with them, so that we can move forward and protect the buffalo. And one of the things that I have said to the Intertribal Bison Council, We need to go to Washington, D.C., and we need to put these buffalo on the endangered species list and be done with it. A hoe.